From the Oklahoma newsroom, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel, and we're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Go online anytime and order your pizza at papajohns.com. Time for We Pick 'em, Barry, and usually we reserve this segment for games, but we're a little light on games now that the Thunder season has ended, so let's talk Thunder in a different way. Let's pick gone or back, Barry. Let's start with Scott Brooks. Is he back or is he gone?
I'm going to say that he's back, but I'm not completely convinced about it. I mean, there's enough smoke that the Thunder is, contemplating Scotty Brooks' future. I think he'll be back because I think the positives outweigh the negatives. I don't think you want to go into the contract year of Kevin Durant with a new coach for Russell Westbrook. That seems like a volatile situation to me. I think Brooks has done a lot of good things. The truth of the matter is he's still unbeaten when he has his team. It's just that 3 straight years, when it comes to crunch time, he hasn't had his team. So I think Scotty will be back.
Yeah, I think he's back as well. But I think he probably goes into next season on something of a short rope, short leash. If the Thunder gets off to a slow start or isn't playing very good basketball, I think you could potentially see the Thunder make a move, although that's risky, obviously, because who you're going to hire midstream, who's available to come in the middle of a season. That could be a little bit up in the air, but I'm with a lot of other people. The pressure is on Scott Brooks, but, Barry, you hear some of the talk out there, names like Billy Donovan being floated around. Billy Donovan, who's never coached a game in the NBA. Do you want him, his first year, to be the last contract year of Kevin Durant and trying to manage Russell Westbrook?
Seems squishy.
Doesn't seem like it'd be the best idea. All right, what about this one, Barry? Enes Kanter. Is he back or is he gone?
Oh, I think he's back, and I'm completely convinced of this one. I mean, I think the Thunder wants Kanter. I think Kanter wants to be here. Yesterday when he talked with us, he basically said, this is where I want to be, and said money is the least of my issues. He basically said he didn't care about money, which I'm sure made his agent gag over lunch, and his agent will try to straighten him out. But clearly, Enes Kanter wants to be a Thunder, and I think he will be.
Yeah, I think he will be back. This is obviously going to be a big contract that the Thunder's going to dole out for Kanter, but they're going to have the room to do this. Obviously, Kendrick Perkins' expiring contract that's now gone, has obviously freed up some of that space, and they're going to pay him pretty handsomely. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out, because in Steven Adams, they've got a guy that started this year. He was obviously joined in the starting lineup by Kanter once Serge Ibaka went down, but you have to wonder, how does that all play out? Kanter and Adams both said in their exit interviews that they didn't really care about starting, but I doubt that they can both start and Serge Ibaka start. Seems like that's unlikely. So how this all plays out, I don't know, but I do think Kanter does sign with the Thunder. All right, Barry, what about Kyle Singler? Here's another guy that is at the end of his contract. Is he back or is he gone?
I actually think Kyle Singler is going to be gone. He's going to be he's going to be a restricted free agent, and I don't think it's I think the Thunder would like to have him, but I think it's a numbers game. The Thunder's at the maximum right now with 15, counting Singler and Kanter. Plus, they got John Hustis, the draft pick from a year ago, who they promised would be brought to the roster this coming season, and a first-round pick that's in the lottery now. So the Thunder's got some roster problems. Somebody's going to have to move. Kyle Singler, to me, is the most obvious and the easiest solution.
Yeah, I think there is a question of numbers, but I think he's going to be back. I think they really like this guy. Now, he was thrust into the starting lineup almost right away because of Kevin Durant's injury. So, there's a question of how would he have performed if he was in a role more fitting of his skill set, which is probably with the second unit. And I think he'd be a good fit with the second unit. I think locker room wise, I think they like what he brings. He comes from that Duke pedigree, a college sort of equivalent to the Thunder. So I think they like a lot of what he brings, but it is probably going to mean that they're going to have to part ways with some other guys already currently on the roster, which brings us to Perry Jones. All right, Barry, he's signed through next season, but is he back or is he gone?
Oh, I think he's gone. I think Perry Jones will be traded for maybe nothing. Seriously. I mean, maybe a second-round draft. Thunder might work a deal where they swap future draft picks and throw in Perry Jones, something like that. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Jones' time has come and gone. His body language down the stretch of the season, Scotty Brooks' lack of playing time afforded Perry Jones. Even think about it this way. In a year in which Kevin Durant barely played because of injury, his backup, Perry Jones, barely played. So I don't think Perry Jones will be back.
Yeah, I think he's gone as well. And, you know, maybe Perry Jones has the skills to be an NBA player who plays, you know, 6, 7, 8, 10 more years in the NBA, but we haven't seen it here. And, you know, a lot of people want to complain about player development when it comes to guys like Perry Jones and the guy we're going to talk about next, Jeremy Lamb. But to me, if you think that Perry Jones not getting to play or Jeremy Lamb not getting to play is some sort of indictment on the Thunder's player development, have you forgot about Steven Adams? Have you forgotten about Serge Ibaka? Have you forgotten about Russell Westbrook? Have you forgotten about Kevin Durant? I mean, yeah, those guys do a lot of individual work, but there's a lot going on right in that Thunder building that's being directed by that coaching staff. So these guys have been given every opportunity to develop and to show themselves, as you said, with Kevin Durant out. We just didn't ever see it from Perry Jones. Which brings us to Jeremy Lamb. All right, Barry, is he back or is he gone again like Perry Jones, signed through next season?
I'm going to say Jeremy Lamb's gone. I do think Jeremy Lamb showed the Thunder a little bit more than Perry Jones. I think the Thunder still thinks there's hope for Jeremy Lamb. There's just not a lot of roster room. When you bring in an Anthony Morrow, then you bring in a Dion Waiters, a DJ Augustine, all of a sudden the guard position is jam-packed and really nothing in the two deep. And I think Jeremy Lamb probably could get something. The Thunder could probably get something for him on the market, maybe just a straight second-round pick or something. But I think Lamb, some teams would be interested in Jeremy Lamb, and I think he's likely to be gone through a traditional trade.
Yeah, I'm going to say Lamb is gone as well. Kind of the same situation in my mind as Perry Jones. You know, again, opportunities out there to play. You know, obviously last year you saw his progression and his playing time get stunted by Derek Fisher being around, just, you know, kind of left very little minutes for Jeremy Lamb. And so, you know, this is a guy that probably does need to play and sort of get in the rhythm and get used to the NBA. And that just hasn't happened with the Thunder. But frankly, I think with the other options that are out there for guys to play the same position or similar type of role that Jeremy Lamb does, I just think the Thunder's got too many guys that they like better than Jeremy Lamb, too many better options. So I think he will be gone. And again, I think it's a situation where he may have the skill set to be an NBA player for a while, but it's just not happening here. And we've seen that happen from time to time. Sometimes the fit just doesn't work, and a guy goes somewhere else and finds a second life to his career. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.